All right, so today we're going behind the scenes of what it looks like to run a spiritual, God-based business. I am so often asked by people, how do you do it all? How do you run a business, hold space, raise a family, and sustain the work? So I'm going to share what most people don't see behind the scene, the sacred structure beneath everything that I do, and I can't wait to bring you in here. So I'm pulling back the curtain of what truly supports my business, the healing work that I do, and my capacity to hold it all. I'll see you inside the episode. All right, here we go. I'm pulling back the curtain and let's dive in to how to run a spiritual God-based business. And I'm going to share behind the scenes of my own work. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you is I've been running this business that I have for over 20 years. And it's not the first business that I've held. So I've learned through the years, I've always been an entrepreneur. And so I've learned through the years how to hold not from force, but from peace. And it wasn't always like that, but I want to share with you because I know if you're here, you're likely highly sensitive. You have an awareness of energy, and likely you want to share your gifts with the world if you're not already doing so. And you want to do it from that place of resonance, of sovereignty, of truth. And so how we make decisions in our business cannot come from that place of urgency. It cannot come from that place of depletion. So over time, working with my angels, I learned how to come and make decisions from my body, through my energy centers, through my being, coming from my heart center instead of my head. So alignment requires stillness and body-led discernment. It takes time and practice. Again, like if you have a lot of energy and you feel a lot of energy, if you identify maybe as an empath or you are a channel, you feel a lot of energy and not all of it is yours. So it's very important to be able to be with our body in practices such as meditation, walking barefoot, walking in general, being out in nature, being able to come back into our body with our breath. This is what helps us to come back into discernment. And this is something that I practice every single day, is to be grounded. It's to spend some time in nature, to breathe air in, to hold the frequency of love and fill my body, because otherwise the decisions I make will tend to go to my head, because that's the natural innate thing to do. We have an idea, we have a thought, and it's the first thing we'll act upon. But we have to hold resonance in our body because this is where love resides. Your soul resides in your body and love resides in your soul, right? So you are pure love. When we want to make decisions in our business, we want to be in that resonance of love. Great. All right. So let's move to the next area, which is a big area. It's the scheduling, right? Our scheduling of our time. It's that calendar that we have. And likely, I'm going to just say this out loud, that you're neurodivergent. You are here because you have these gifts that are open, which are so amazing and so blessed. And it also changes the way you perceive energy. And so a lot of times healers have a hard time with scheduling. They have a really difficult time managing their appointments or how much they work. They tend to overwork. And this was something I definitely needed to learn in the very beginning when I stepped into my healing work, because I was scheduling myself out too much. And healing work is so wonderful and so great, but God didn't call me to be working all of the time, because when you're working all of the time, you can't be present in your life. You can't be present in the moments of your life with your family, with the things that you're meant to experience, with your animals, to grow relationships, right? So these are important parts of our life that need time and energy and awareness. So why I stopped putting myself on the schedule every single day was to hold sacred space for my life, to hold sacred space for growth, for relationships, for fun, right? Because if we're not having those things in our life, then our buckets are going to get messy, right? We're going to overwork. We're going to be too in our head. We're going to try to get things done and be busy all the time. And that busyness creates more of an acidic tone in our life. So I stopped working all the time. I started choosing sacred days that I wanted to work, where I was leaning in and not overcommitting, not going across my schedule to be like, oh, if somebody can't do this day, I'll do this day. Or I have to be available at night, otherwise nobody will book me. Or I just had all of this chaos. And that's really attached to people pleasing. It really is a codependency. But when you go into your scheduling and you hold yourself and you're like, what days work best for me? What hours am I most enlivened that I can give my best? What time of day can I start my work where I've given myself enough time to do my sacred practice? And what time can I end so I again can do another sacred practice of closing out that work? Because holding energy, working with people requires your full energy, your full awareness. So those sacred boundaries are really important. They're for your peace and for your presence. And when you are over available, you're people pleasing, because people will find you, they will book you, they will want to work with you during the hours that work for you. Trust me, I know this, I live this, and it feels so good in your body when you honor yourself. Great. So a healer's schedule should support their life and not consume it. Okay, really important. So good. So let's go into pricing. This is a big area for healers, and it's a question I get all the time. It's like, what do I do? How do I price? They get really sticky, really worried. And I have to say, pricing was an issue for me at one time because it had to do with what I thought my value was. And over time, I really came to understand what my angels were showing me is like, really my pricing wasn't about my worth. It wasn't about putting a value on something so I would feel better. It was an exchange. It was time and energy that I was putting into honoring my craft, of honoring this gift, of being with people. And it also, pricing is energetic, right? So it's from an energetic alignment. Not all people are supposed to price really high, and not all people are supposed to price low. But pricing comes from when we're in alignment, when we're really, truly like in our body, not in our head. Because in our head, numbers are going to play a game. They have meaning. It brings us more into fear. It brings us away from our truth. Pricing is a sacred exchange. I want you to hold that. Pricing is a sacred exchange. And my practice that I do of pricing is very, very ceremonial, right? I'm sitting with God. I'm sitting with elements such as singing bowls, such as maybe I'm even being in nature. I'm using sound. I'm with prayer. I'm in resonance of love. And I'm receiving in alignment with my highest soul self. And so the frequency speaks. And it will come through. And once you learn to do this is foundational stuff, guys. It's so foundational. Like, I want you to know this is a game changer for your work. When you come and approach your pricing from this point of view, your scheduling, right? Your routine, right? Instead of force, instead of like, oh, great, softness, you're opening and expanding your capacity. You're healing the boundaries you've crossed on your own self, right? And you're standing in the power now, which is, I can manifest from this highest place. And the people who you're meant to serve, they're going to come to you no matter what. No matter what. Okay. So let's go into this big nugget. This is a big one. Why most healers are building beyond their capacity. And this is a big one because many gifted, many very talented women who are leaning into to showcase, to do their work. They're being called. They're like, I've seen myself on stage. I see myself writing the book. They're holding it all. And what they're missing, the mark, is their nervous system can't hold it yet, right? You have the vision. The vision is beautiful. The vision's not wrong. It's that we have to build capacity first. We have to first contract, come in, hold resonance, hold yourself in order then to grow capacity. Because it's in the coming in that your nervous system recalibrates, that the whole system starts lining up. So there is no force. There is no force. There is only, it's fueled by love, right? So expansion cannot be faked. You know, there's a saying in business where they're like, oh, you got to fake it till you make it. Well, not with growth, not when you've been called into something big, right? When you've been called to the stage, when you've been called to writing the book, to be the leader, to show up, to create the business, to build the art studio, whatever it is, the healing center, whatever you've been called into, the excitement is part of it, but also the contraction of coming in, holding yourself and doing the practice so that you can expand, so you can hold, so your nervous system regulates to it. Because when you start attracting, you want to attract the yummiest energy. You want to attract what you are a true match for, not what your thoughts are, not what your undercurrent, right? The undercurrent of the old emotions of the past storylines. And that's always running behind the scenes. Always. So many women are trying to build a business that their body does not yet feel safe holding. Oh, let's say that one more time, right? It's a big line, right? Many women are trying to build a business that their body does not yet feel safe holding. So this is the most key ingredient, is feeling safe, because we're tender, we're giving, we're caring, and a business is a sacred extension of you. It's not an extension of the parent who punished you. It is not an extension of the needing to succeed to prove yourself. It is not an extension of the pain that you're trying to fill, right? We just have to be very clear that what we're doing is we're holding sacred space and we're building from a capacity that can hold it. So how I co-create with God, right? I co-create. So I'm a creative being. You may be in my world for a long time, or you might just be here. It might be just coming in. But if you are new here, I've written books. I've had other podcasts. I paint. I'm an author. I've done a lot of creative ventures. I had a healing studio. I teach healing courses such as Angel Healer Training and Medium Mastery. I hold a lot of energy, but I hold the foundation first, right? The creation can't come into its full expression if you aren't holding yourself. And so co-creating with God, it means that when we're receiving the yumminess, like we're getting the downloads of like ideas and thoughts, and we're like, ooh, is that we hold it first, is that we sit with it, that we merge with it, blend with it, to make sure that it's actually ours, that our energy is with it, right? Because being a gifted person means you're going to be able to pick up on other people's energy. You're going to be able to receive information. And if your boundaries aren't clear, then you could receive what's meant for someone else. And so when we sit with it, we hold it and we're like, ooh, how would my energy go here? And we start expanding upon that with relationship with God, with talking with God, with holding prayer, with bringing that energy into our ceremony, into our space, right? Holding prayer, writing about it, creating the feeling, creating the scene, seeing it happen, and then taking the step. Those are all parts of the journey, right? They're part of like sharing your wealth, your knowledge, your gift with the world. Super yummy. Aligned offers. This is a nugget for you to take away. Aligned offers are created through co-creation, not force. Co-creation, not force. That's super yummy. So if the podcast's there for you to do a podcast, co-create it. Talk to God. Let him be with you. Write your podcast from that point of reference and watch what happens. You'll be Hey, listen, if this touched your heart and you want to go a little further, I'm going to invite you to the Angel Healer training. The Angel Healer training is a 2-part in-person retreat-style certification experience. It's held over 2 immersive weekends, and it's happening in May and June in Connecticut at my home on my property. If you know your intuitive gifts are meant to help others, if you feel called into a deeper level of service with God, if you sense there's more in you than you've yet fully learned, like this is what Angel Healer will help you move into your next sacred steps. So in these transformational weekends, you will be certified as an angel healer and messenger while receiving deep training in spiritual, energetic, and practical foundations of this work. I will be sharing behind the scenes of how I hold my business, my healing work, and my sacred service to God. The practices, the structures, and the tools I use to sustain this calling with integrity. You'll leave with a clear understanding of your soul work as a healer, deeper trust in your gifts, and practical tools that will support you in the way that you serve others. If this sounds like you, join me May 15th through the 17th and June 12th through the 14th in Connecticut for this intimate, immersive experience where you'll be held in sacred space. And listen, if you want to be there, but you are called not to join us in person, there is the option to do the virtual as well. I'll have everything that you need in the show notes, and I can't wait to welcome you into the room. There are only 12 spots for this training. It's specifically small, intentionally small, so that we're going to lean in. Again, you will be certified on weekend 2. That is the weekend that we do the attunement. So I suggest if you can only join for one weekend, that would be the weekend that you come. All right. I love all of this information that I was able to share with you that God placed on my heart. If you have questions, if you want to go a little further, leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm available. Reach out to me via my email if you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to cover. My email is jeannie@jeanniestreet.com. And I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you.